That fateful day was packed with a host of activities for me, most of which were tied to my beginning work officially. It was my first job, so I was very ecstatic at the prospects of being called an independent woman, though I was still 19 years old and very wet behind the ears. However, this did not deter me from being determined to have a blast as an intern at the media house I would be working in as a junior field correspondent. However, at such a time of bliss, major stumbling blocks were always lurking somewhere, and this time, mine presented itself to me in the person of my mother. She was very much against the whole idea of me going to work at such a time, and did quite an impressive job in trying to make me quit. Being of a Muslim background, coupled with my Asian descent, I was supposedly ripe for marriage at my age, and apparently, Ranjit, my father's corporate ally, saw it fit to making me his seventh wife, the trophy wife. The fact that I adamantly refuted to this unorthodox way of doing things ruffled my mother's feathers a lot. As was expected, I was rather miffed, actually sitting on this particular morning as I put on my navy blue denim pants and a crisp white camisole topped with a work jacket. It was not exactly an outfit my mother would approve of, but we were in the 21st century after all. I peered at myself in the mirror and smiled. Where was that girl who was always in saris and long caftans? Not important, I thought, as I did a little twirl to admire my handiwork. My mother walked in at that precise manner and watched me, rather tacitly, and clicked, leaving. I left the house without even saying goodbye to anyone except to the maid, marking my exit with a jingle-jangle of bracelets, anklets, and trinkets, and my expensive perfume saturating the gloomy atmosphere in the house. I saw my mother seated, looking all prim and proper, clicking away furiously at her laptop without even looking up or wishing me success. She was probably wondering why I was not like my elder sister Anita, who was already married to an old fellow and would maybe end up like my mother one day. As I was about to leave the gate, I heard my mother calling out my name a bit too curtly. I spun around on my heels and turned on time to catch the unmistakable glare in her eyes. If you walk out of that gate to go to that hellhole you call work, I swear, by my ancestors, you will cease to be my daughter, she blared, catching me unawares, her chest heaving with rage. That happened long ago, mother. Goodbye, I replied, fighting to keep my voice even. I shrugged, walked to my car, leaving her spitting out curses at me. I entered my car and turned on the engine before reversing it rather too fast due to my anger. Before braking, I heard a bump, then a sharp scream, before silence. Fearing the worst, I hopped out and rushed to the back. There lay before my eyes my own mother, bleeding profusely from her facial orifices. She looked unconscious, and as I was just about to let out a scream, her eyes fluttered open, and she looked at me. I looked at her pained expression through a film of tears. Anjab, I only wanted the best for you. She turned to her side and breathed her last.